Hello everyone, how are we all doing tonight? Yes, we are live and it is Wednesday, which means it is question time. A live show where I ask or answer any of your questions that you may ask about games development, Unreal Engine 4, or anything you may wish and desire. So, if this is your first time here, how it works, all you got to do is put your question into chat, and I'll try and grab as many as I can within the hour that we do this for, and answer them as best I can inside that time frame. Now, patrons who are supporting me on patreon.com/RyanLady do get one added benefit where they get access to Discord and, hang on, move this to the side, Discord channel where they can ask their questions ahead of time in preparation for the live stream. So if they're not going to make it live, you can put it there and get your question answered. So we got a number of questions to answer. Now, we did have some from last week, but obviously didn't do it last week because of reasons. But we're going to try and answer as many as we can of these ones. They may not be as in depth, but we'll try our best as we go. Okay, so first of all, Patreon questions. Patrick is asking, can you show us how to make a camera with zoom? I'm trying to make something like Pokemon Snap, which checks the number of actors and their stats when a photo is taken. Okay, so essentially what that is involving, okay, so I've got a first person template here, and let's say when I push down the right trigger, I want to go into my camera zoom type thing. Okay, now for that, you've got a couple of options. You've got the camera with the gun, and you can swap it to a different camera, or you just change the camera that you're currently using. I'm currently thinking of just switching it to a different camera, just to save a bit of time, as it will smoothly transition for us. But you can do either. So I'm going to add another camera to this. So go camera. And this only works if it's a fixed zoom, by the way. This camera is going to be the same location as the other camera, so I'm going to attach it to the other camera. Here's. And we're going to just reset the defaults here so it's the exact same position. Yeah. And I want to change the field of view on this to be a lot more narrow. Alright. It's down. And then make it look like it's getting closer. So to check that out, if I turn this one off by going to auto activate at the bottom. So. And on the event graph here. Actually, no, it might be best to use this camera, wouldn't it? I'll use the same camera. We'll just use this one. Right, I'll just do right mouse button in. Right mouse button. And we're going to take the camera. And we're going to set FOV. Field of view. There you go. and make that a lot narrower. So let's go to like 50, for example. This will snap it into position. If you want to tween it between what it currently is to its new position, you have to use a lerp through a tick event. But for now, we're not worried about that. We're just going to change the camera like this. And when I release it, I want to do the exact same thing, but turn it back to what it was originally. 90. Okay. Oh, got to hook in the target there. Oh, that. So if I push play now, right click, we'll zoom in, let go, we'll zoom out. As for taking a picture, now I won't go through the whole system because Pokemon Snap's quite advanced what it does. But essentially what you're doing is you need to get all actors that are relevant inside the camera view. Now, let's say we have okay, let me make a Pokemon class. Okay. Character, Pokemon, and we'll just give it a cube or something, nothing special. Yeah, it's a cube. That'll do. And we'll just drag that into the world. So there's my Pokemon. Okay. Now, when you are taking that picture, you need to check to see if the Pokemon is in view of the box that you're taking a picture of. Now, there's a few things you can worry about here further too. Is also like you can look at whether or not they're in the center of the camera and whether or not they're facing the camera, things of that nature. So, I would imagine what we can do is if we go to the player character, if I if I do right mouse button here, I'll make a boolean on this saying is taking picture. But then when I left trigger, it won't shoot, it'll take a picture instead. Set true. And when I let go, set to false. Okay. And if we, and then we click fire here, we're going to drag that out and put that into a branch. And if it's false, it'll shoot a bullet. If it is taking a picture and it's true, I'm going to make a new custom event for that. So let's make a custom event. We'll take picture. And we'll just call take picture. Okay. So what we need to do now is we need to get all actors of class. I'm going to get all the Pokemons. And I'm going to do a for each loop. So. And this we want to output here was recently rendered. This will mean that they're in the camera view. So if they're in the camera view here, I'll just turn this down to like 0.1. That means that they're true. And we're going to add them to an array. Or to like a struct array. So you'll probably make a struct of this. So we'll take blueprint structure. And we'll do like photo stats, for example. And for this, we'll have that. We'll also have another struct for Pokemon stat. So what that will store what they're currently doing, and what their positioning is, what the rotation is, and so forth, and store that all in here. So I'm not gonna do all of them, obviously. We'll do a couple. So for example, which way they're facing. So if they're facing the camera or not. So we're gonna do facing. That'd be a float. With the facing score. We'll get size. Yes. If they're doing special animations, you may want to store that in there too. And so on and so forth. Position, I guess, if they're closer to the center. That'll do. And then on the photo stats, what you're storing here is an array of those Pokemon stats. So, Pokemon captured. And we'll do a Pokemon stat. this, and that'd be an no, you just want to get. So they're doing it with just one, don't they? They don't do it with multiple. I just want the one. Essentially, okay. Without going, because this could be a whole series on itself. So essentially, what you got to do, and I've got loads more questions to answer. What you got to do is when you take the picture, is you go through the Pokemon that you're looking for. So whether you're looking at all of them or even looking at just one of them, whatever it may be. If you're looking for the closest one, you work that out first, and then you look at their stats. So if they look which way they're facing, if they're facing the same way as the camera, if they are doing a certain animation, all that stuff gets stored to a structure, which then gets associated to a photo stat here, which would be like an array of these various things. So, or map rather, maybe. And that map then it'd be associated at the end where you can score it based on those various things for various different reasons. There's a lot involved in it, and there's too much really to go through in just this one session. It'd probably be a whole series to do that. But I imagine it's something like this. Having not done it before, this is how I would do it. Rude Boy is asking, hey Ryan, could you talk a bit about the differences between master pose, copy pose from mesh, and skeletal mesh merge, and the advantages and disadvantages of each? Okay. So, I cannot remember the difference between what specific about skeletal mesh merge, but let's take a look at the nodes for them. So what they're referring to here is you've got master pose component. Oh, hello. What the master pose component is it tells all these meshes to follow the same animation as the other one has. So as long as they use the same sort of skinned mesh, so same skeleton and all that, they will follow that particular animation. So if I wanted my character to heal different parts, like I showed my equipment series, you'd make them all follow that component there. Copy pose for mesh is, I think, when you've got the mesh not I guess, I don't know. Copy pose would be something like, imagine. I would imagine it's something to do with, like, if you're not necessarily using the same character, it's doing a different character entirely. Let's do. This is a posable mesh component, yeah. I don't know. I've not really used posable meshes for this. What's the benefit of this? I need to look at documentation to find out what differences this have underneath the hood. Surface level wise, I can't see much difference. Don't have. So yeah, it's different character, as I mentioned. So yeah, if it's different character, you use copy pose from mesh, or copy pose from skeletal mesh. Yeah, and what was the other one? Skeletal mesh merge. That one I'm not too sure about at all. Skeletal. I know it's to do with modular characters, but I don't know much more than that. There's some other notes as well. Copy pose from mesh. This is part of the animation blueprint. This will. Okay, so it's not this thing. It's from the animation blueprint. Is more expensive than master pose component because it runs the animation on each child. Okay. Skeletal mesh merge. Oh, okay. So okay. So what skeletal mesh merge? The benefit of doing that is that it merges all the where it merges all the different parts together. The rendering of it's a lot cheaper because it is now one draw call for the character, not 3 or 4 based on how many parts they have. So it's a lot cheaper to do that. So there's an initial cost where it has to merge it all together and do that expensive part first. But after that's a lot quicker. So you can prioritize a quick runtime but a slow load, or vice versa. And that's the benefit of that by the looks of it. Although that looks like it's a C++ only thing, maybe. I don't know. I haven't really used it, but that's what it's suggesting here is the thing behind it. Couple more. So hi Ryan, I want to be able to exchange characters with different abilities in real time. For example, go from warrior to magician with the push of a button. But with other characters' AI while not in use. My question: how do I make the logic of the skills? I use the player controller and send generic messages to the characters. Skill button 1. Please change the logic in the BP of each type of character, or do I use enhance input and change it from there when the characters is changed, or another method? So if you've got multiple characters with multiple different skills and abilities, and you're switching between them, the skills and abilities should be on the characters themselves, not the controller. The controller may be just calling them, like ability 1, ability 2, ability 3, whatever it may be. But the abilities are defined by the actual individual character blueprints. And they only run when you're possessing it. So if you switch possession, that's where that can happen. If that's what you want to do. And when you do switch characters, don't forget to spawn the default controller for each of the other ones that you like, the previous one you had. That way AI takes over. Final one from here. So hi Ryan, yes, yesterday we recall we're switching characters. It goes. Okay, so this was more related to a live one-to-one. I'll message him one-to-one wise. Someone I had one-to-one with. Okay, right. So sorry. Into chat. Hello, everyone in chat. So let's have a look. Vlad, hi Ryan, how do I swap a mesh with another to give the appearance of something being upgraded? Oh, that's simple enough. So if we say on our character here, if I push stuff, if I push 1, for example, that's going to upgrade my gun. I'll take my gun mesh here, and I do set skeletal mesh. This one's a skeletal mesh, so it's set skeleton. Set skeletal mesh, and I'll just choose whatever mesh I want it to take over. That's it. We got to do. I don't really have an example unless I go into here. Go instant. And that's a color, doesn't it? Yeah, body color. Yeah. And I'll just duplicate that. And I'll make another one. And just give it the other material. Okay, so now I've got a pink gun. So if I want to switch that gun in my character, when I upgrade or I push 1, I'll just choose what mesh I want to use. I'll use that one. That's it. Oh, hold on, I've got stuff where I edited. Yeah. That's fine. See, switch gun. Okay, so I just switched the mesh over. That's all. Royal Hayes. Hi Ryan, if you get time, how can I set up a multiplayer respawn system just like that in Fall Guys, where if you fall off the map, you die and respawn at checkpoint? Spoiler alert, you do not die, you just teleport. That's how they do that. So when they fall out of the map, they just teleport you back to the start. In fact, they don't actually even teleport you, they actually move you to that position over time. I don't know why they do that, but you just set location, back to start. That's it. That's how they do that. I know that for a fact. Jackaled, I have a question. Do you have any tips about best practices when handling class inheritance in blueprints? Especially if I'm also wanting to set it up to make coders not hate me. Thanks, mate. Any tips? Plan it ahead of time. That's a good tip. So plan out that inheritance. Think about what's going to be inheriting from what and what is going to be important to what. And yeah, and make extensive use of it. I think that's the answer to that. Beyond that, that's about all I've got really. It's not really a tip heavy subject, but plan it ahead of time. Bernardo. Oh, you're just responding. Yeah, teleport. Yeah. Just set out to location. You don't want to use the teleport node. You want to use the set actor location. Okay. Alec, not sure if this is too specific, but I'm following your FPS RPG series, and whenever I go to the character menu and return, my character falls through the floor. Any ideas? Yes. Move your character slightly above the floor. The reason why that happens is that your character is loading into level before the floor does. So just raise them up a little bit off the floor, or like when you go to spawn them in, raise them up a bit off the floor, and that is usually what that is. So yeah, check that out. Francesco Petraka. Quick and random question, if I may. Can you tell me the easiest way to make a combo attack like Devil May Cry? What do you think is the key of it? So something like that is using an input buffer. So what it's doing is, as you smash your buttons in, you are keeping track of what keys you've pushed in the last however many seconds. And it looks for the last key and compares it to a combination. If that combination is the case, then it'll do the move. A lot of these are chained together with animations as well. So when you push button A, that'll do one animation. Push button B before that animation finishes, it'll chain into a different animation. And then push button C, and then it'll do the full thing, whatever it may be. It'll be something like that. But input buffer is where it is. Now, input buffering doesn't exist out the box. You do have to make it. Fortunately, it is quite simple to do. So it depends on what kind of system you're trying to make. So we'll just do one on the character here. Some temporary little one. I've got my plan to do a full like fighting game thing. With this in mind. So in here you have an input buffer. Okay, so when you do variables, you have inputs array. This would be an array of keys that you've pushed. The key that, and make it an array. And I still remember how I did this. So you'd have the event for any key being pressed. And if any key is being pressed, you want to get the input array and add to it. this key. So get. Oh wait, no, that is just the key already, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. So you just drag the key into there, and you'll add it to that array. So you've got to the array building, but obviously that's going to get very, very large, very, very quick. So what you do is you have to basically keep it a certain size, so it only remembers the last, say, 10 inputs maybe. And if it's that point, what you do when you add it to there, you take the length of this, and you say if the length of this is greater than 10, say. Okay. You remove the first one. And I'm gonna just and do remove index. So like that. And that will remove index 0. And what happens when you take index 0 out of an array? It shifts the whole array down. So what was an index 1 will become index 0, and so on and so forth. So it's like a moving, sliding scale, a buffer. And then once you've got that, you may also want to put a timer on it. So if you don't push any inputs for a certain amount of time, it'll wipe the whole buffer clear. So this remove index after this, we'll probably do a not remove index, sorry. After this, we'll do set timer by event, and we'll make an event on here called clear buffer. And that clear buffer can also be triggered whenever you get hit as well, for example. It's good to have it as an event rather than like a delay or something. But this will be a very short amount of time, so however long between button pushes. So let's say 1 second. If you don't push a button for 1 second, it's going to wipe it. So when it does that, we're going to take the input array and just clear it. Like that. Then force will also go into there as well. And that's it for that. Then you actually just got to read the thing. So when you've got this as well, you want to then check what the last key you pushed, and then use that to check various different moves you may have. So the way I've done this in the past is I had a custom event on here. This can kind of spoil how I do my fighter game stuff, but it's quite clever. Let's say this is combo attack 1. Okay. What I can do on this is do a check on this. So I call combo attack 1 on this. And what combo attack 1 is going to do, it's going to look at the key inputs that are required to call combat attack 1. So let's say I add a couple of parameters to this of keys. There's a key, and we do key 1, key 2, key. Let's say we've got 3 keys you've got to push, okay? And what we're going to do is we need to ideally make a function that handles this, because what we do is we go check for combo, and this is going to take an array of keys. Key array, and this would be the combination that you need to check if you have a combination for. So when you go through the key array here, we're going to do a for each loop like this, and it's going to go for each item in that list. So that would be basically these 3 here. It'll go through each one of these. So the first one, we need to know the length of it and take away from the end of this inputs array. So get inputs array, and we'll take this one and do last index, and we'll do minus the length of the key array. Hang on. Length of that plus plus last index. Let's say last index is like 9. Index 0 be 3 minus 0. Wait, no, what have I got wrong? Yeah. And then 1 will be I'll look at 2. So it'd be this minus this minus the array index. And then on the last index here, we will do that minus this. And that gets us the index we want to look at. And if it matches this, so you do equals to. And you're going to check that against the inputs array. Get. Copy. And plug that in there. And put that in there. And if that's true, that means that the first key matches what we had last pushed 3 buttons ago. Essentially. And then we put that into branch. I think I've got this right in my head. It's been a while since I've done it. So it would then, yeah, so this will, so for example, like let's say the key array's got three keys you have to push in order. Let's say you have to push ABX, okay? And I've hit ABX. On the X, what's going to happen? It's going to go through this. It'll check it for each one, A, B, and X. But on the X is when it's actually going to do something, because when it comes through here, we look at the key array, we look at its length, it'll be 3. Yeah. And then the array index is going to be 0, the first key. And we need to know what our key was 3 steps ago. So we go to our last index minus the length of the array, but the array index being added onto it. So if the length is 3, last index is 9, now go back down to 6, which is correct. If index is now 1, the array that was 9 will go down to down 2, then it go down 1, and then check all those last ones. I think it's something like that. I may have missed up something here. It's been a while, but essentially it goes through that, and if it is false, then this whole thing fails. So we just do return. Oh, I'll type return node, and on there you'll have a boolean saying fail or success. So success and boolean, and singular. So that'd be a fail there. If it gets to the end of all this and it was successful before getting called this, on completed, it's going to put success as true. Something like this. I might have messed up some of the math there, but what you do here is you make array, add the bins. Oh. And then we call our check for combo. Like that. And if it was true or not, we'll just print string that success or not. And that's when it do like the effect, whatever it may be. Now the check for combo, to test that working, what you do is on combo take here, you put in the combo buttons you want to push. So let's say I want to do my Xbox controller here. We'll do face button bottom, face button right, and face button left. Okay, so I have to hit all 3 of those keys in that order for this to return true. Okay, it'll return false, false, then true. If I've done this math right, I probably haven't. I just need a call. No, I don't need a call, do it, because it's already on. Yeah, it should be okay. So, ABX. Oh, there you go. Okay, true came up. Okay, so I'm 1 out, I think. So I need to tweak that function a little bit. For combo. And I'll add 1 to this. I'm gonna just print string this key. This should print out the key I just name. This should print out the name of the key I just pushed. Theory. Not to do this one. Check that. Hit A. I've done the math wrong. It's something like that. I've got to do a full video on it properly, but I don't want to spend too long on it. But essentially, oh, wrong character. That is what you do. Well, one way you can do it. It's just this check for combo I've done wrong. I want to actually solve it properly. What time do we have? Yeah, let's do it properly. Let's solve it properly. Okay, so if I look at the last key and look at the last 3 keys I pushed. So if I've pushed, well, first of all, okay, the first thing I need to do is check to see if the input array is larger or the same as the size of the key array. So length of that and length of this. Right, I'll just make that array. If they are the same or greater, so if that is greater than or equal to this, going to output, then into branch. Oh, that goes into there. So if that is false, then it will return false. So I'll just node. That will return there. So you don't need to carry on looking if you haven't got enough keys to check what you want to do. Okay, so that'll do that. Then on the for each loop here, we want to look at the last. So if this was the first one, we need to look back. So it'd be length, the key array, which I've got. Just to keep it a bit tidier. Oh. So the key array length minus the array index, which is 0. So the first number is going to come out of here will be 0. No, the first number will be here 3, then 2, then 1. No. 3 minus 3, 2. Yeah. I then want to do input array get. I want to take 1 away from this again, don't I? Minus 1. No. Minus 1 or plus 1? I'll be plus 1. That'll go into there. Yeah, and double check by printing. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I can just got array into there. Okay, so I need to check if it is equal to this. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Don't know. Then that'll return here. False again, and if it's successful, it'll do return true. If this doesn't work, I'll do it properly in an actual video series when I get around to it. But oh, I actually got to put print string in. Damn. Maybe this was -1. It's along these lines. I have to look up my code I've done before. Something like this. I think I even made it like just get the last one and build another array maybe. And see if they match. That's what I did. Right, one more time, one more attempt. We'll get this right. Okay, so it only does it when it does that. I think the first thing I did was, when I last done this, then must have been, I got the input array and just got the last 3 of these. So... Okay, so hang on. I get the input array out. Yes. I want to make another array of the last 3 of that. Okay. So on the key array, which is going to give us a length of 3. I need the last 3 of these ones. Okay. So I need to go length of... No. I want to get... Yeah, I just want to do... Okay, yeah, I know. We'll do a for loop. And it'll be 0 to length of -1. There. So I've got 0, 1, and 2. The input array then is going to get the... No, that won't work either. How did I do it? Got... Get a copy of the last index minus this. Yeah, this is it. So do that and get this one, and we build a little array out. So make another local variable here, L. Get, and we're going to add that to it. So I built an array of the last things in reverse order. Then on completed here, I take the L array out, and is it called reverse? I can't remember now. Yeah, reverse. Do that. And so now I've got it in reverse. I then want to see if this L array matches the key input array. So if it is equal to or identical to the key array. Go into there. Go into there. Okay. I think I've forgot the print strings are plugged in. Yay, it works. So ABX output's true. So there's a combo. Okay. As long as I hit it in time, within 1 second. If I leave the keys alone for 1 second, the input buffer resets. So I've hit A, for example, and then B, and then hit X, it's still going to return false. So I do have to hit them in quick succession. You probably have to ignore movement controls, maybe, if you're taking that into account. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Outputting true. And it will do the move, whatever it may be. So for example, if I wanted to go, if I go to my event graph here, get rid of that. If we want to change the combo whatsoever here, we can just change what keys we want here, and we can also add more if we want to add more to it, and also to check whether or not it can run it or not. If it does run it successfully, what I'm going to do is just make it launch the character high in the air. So, launch character. And we'll put in 2000. Okay. Whee. Okay. There you go. Combo. That's how you can do a combo in Blueprints. Anyway, that would take a long time. Next. Oh, Alec, right, you're saying about the okay. Your player character, it's still existing in the persistent level. You want to put that character in the other level, the other one, so the one that gets unloaded. Because what's happening is the level's getting unloaded and he's just gonna fall. So put it on. Okay. The non-persistent level, the actual one that's in. Who else we got here? Blood. Hi Ryan, how would I do a spirit eye like Zelda when you use it in the Shadow Temple and it shows hidden secret doors? So you're looking at a masking technique. How could we do that? Probably be some kind of post-process that only hides the bit in the middle. Okay, hold on. Let's try this out. Okay, so essentially, right, okay. Let's just drag out another wall thing here. And side. Okay, and I put another one in space, like. Yeah. Okay, so if I made this one like the Shadow Temple thing, where it's like custom depth in this, so I'm looking at custom depth, turn that on, and I'm gonna turn off collision on it as well, because in Zelda obviously you can walk through them. So I'm gonna turn off collision, and we'll say collision preset, no collision. So now this will be a post-process material. Because it also does it like a little circle shape in the middle, doesn't it? It doesn't just do the whole screen. It does like a little shape in the middle. So what I'm thinking is make this a post-process material. And then we'll use the scene texture of the world. Post-process input 0. This, by the way, input 0 refers to just the world camera. So if I plug this into here, it'll just look like the world as it is. Okay. But you can also get the custom depth in this. So custom depth, which returns the value of the custom depth. Doesn't return the color of it, just returns the value of it. So what you need to do with this is we need to clamp this in 0 and 1, and then multiply that by this color here to render that custom depth. Oh yeah, how will that work with custom depth? Because that bit would be not including. Yeah, because if I turn this not render, you're just gonna get black in the background, not the actual object behind it. Okay. Because I can minus this. subtract that from there, but they'll get left with a void, I think. Um. Ba 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 ba. It's not a Z right for the object though. You're changing the Z order for individual pixels. I mean, on the N64, probably that's how they did it. But how would you do it nowadays? It's their circle shape and the rendering behind it. It must be something like make it not render in main pass. So if I click on this, do main pass, turn off that. Yeah, you just get a void, don't you? I did. Um, 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 do minus scene depth. Uh, Again, it's not visibility because you're rendering only a part of the object, not the whole thing. You can turn off the whole object, yeah, but what you're doing is actually you're just hiding a part of it. So yeah, it's like you're masking it out. I guess we could use the. Hang on. Oh, okay. Hang on. And then it's on the screen. Unless, I know what I can do. I don't want to use post-processing. When you get a brainwave just like that, it's weird. Like a new material. But this one is just like a regular material, so it has color on it. So I'll just give it color. Sure. Fine. I think this will work. Drag that onto there. Okay, so that's got the special material it's going to have. I'm just going to turn it on by default the whole entire time, so not taking into account pushing a button or anything like that. So I want it to cut out a circle in the middle of the screen, not in real world space, but in screen space, and hide that with the opacity. So here I want to do an opacity mask, so I'm going to change that to masked. And I'm going to do a sphere mask on this. The sphere mask here is going to use the screen position viewport UV. The B here is going to be a 2 thing here, so it'd be like 0.5 and 0.5. The radius here would be 0.5, and hardness I'll leave it 100, and I don't know how it will treat that. I just put that. I don't know what's going to happen if I plug that straight in there. I don't think this will work, but what would actually happen if I plug that straight in? Basically, this should make a circle in the middle of the screen. That's the idea behind it. What's this doing now? Kind of. You can see it there, like sort of hiding stuff in the background. So I just need to invert it. Cool. All right, it works. So just invert it. 1 minus. And the radius here, it's a bit oblong because the shape of the UV is different. So that would involve a little bit of change there, but other than that, it works. So sphere mask here, I'll just change that down in the radius here to 0.2. Okay. I'll then add like an input on it, so I have to push a button to enable this thing. But we've now got a hole in the wall based on where my screen is, like that. Ah, you walk through it. Ah. Yeah. So you've got a secret magic mirror thing that you can walk through. See. Pretty cool, eh? That works quite nicely. Right, so let's make this like an actual effect that you can turn on then. So for that, I'm going to use a material parameter collection. Materials, parameter collection, and we call that shadow effect. And we'll just add a scalar to this. And this would be magic mirror, we call it, because that's what they call the item in Zelda. Default value is 0. And then on the material here, I'm just going to multiply this by the input. Put that in there. And so that'd be a parameter, selection parameter. And we're going to choose the magic mirror button there and plug that in there. So now on my player character, all I have to do is when I push, let's say like 1, we'll just get set scalar parameter value. Choose the collection shadow effect. Choose magic mirror. Set to 1. Plug that in there. And when it's released, make it 0. Now I can turn it off and on. Oh wait, I need to invert it. Oh no, that won't work, will it? Because poo. I want to do an if then. Okay, we're going to check magic mirror, goes into there. If magic mirror there is equal to or less than 0, we want it to do nothing. We're going to set it to just 1. It's greater than this one. Now go into capacity. Oh, not that one. Yeah. It could be 0. So if it's equal to 0, which is the main one we want, it's going to choose 1 as the opacity mask, so it shouldn't make anything transparent. If it is 1, it's going to make it use the magic mirror effect. So it looks like normal. Hold down 1. Ooh, yeah. Go 1. Nice. It works. Nice. Okay, brilliant. That's a good one. I like that. Ow. Right, we're going to do one last question before we call it a night, unfortunately. So, we've got... there's a really quick one for you to answer. Alec, one quick question if you get to it. I'm a software developer, so I happen to know C++. Would you recommend using that over blueprints? Use both. As Mark Brown correctly said, the ideal way to use it is use both, because you can make the fundamental classes and behaviors in C++ and then iterate and make the children and do cool prototyping stuff in blueprint form a lot quicker and easier than you can in C++. Epic, for Fortnite, what they actually do is they make the whole for Fortnite, they make Fortnite with blueprints for prototyping, and then they convert it over to C++ manually, so it gets that speed out of it. You can do that too, but the best way to do it is to use both. And there are some things where blueprints make more sense. So things like AI and behavior trees and things like that, and animation blueprints work best as blueprints. I find it's mostly like logic stuff. You should be putting stuff in. Soapman, are you familiar with Niagara? Yes, I am. Is banjo magnetic or sockets to a tree when you suck to it when he jumps towards it? I can't say for certain because I didn't make it, but the way I would do it is it wouldn't be a socket nonetheless. It would be attached to I guess it could attach to the socket and you just move the location of the socket. But I would make him attached to the tree at a certain location and then move up and down. We'll move up down a spline. When we reach the end of the spline at top, it'll climb on top of the tree. When we reach the end of the spline, it'll fall off the tree. Barter says, hey Ryan, are you planning to making a C++ basics and Unreal series? Yes, I am. Don't ask me when, but yes, I am. Danielle, hi Ryan, what do you think of the gameplay ability system? It's okay, bit convoluted, needlessly, but it's robust and it has some cool features. It's okay. And Bernardo, thank you. How is your kid's arm? Thank you. My son's arm is all better now. He's out of the cast. He was very sad to say goodbye to the cast. We were taken to the hospital and he wanted to get another cast on the other arm, a green one this time. So when I took the cast off, he was like hugging it the whole entire time, like, oh, didn't miss it. So bless him. He has apraxia, which is a speaking disorder, which is sort of like dyspraxia type family of a disorder, and it basically means he can't talk that well. His brain doesn't communicate effectively. He can comprehend just fine, but when he's communicating, he doesn't do it too well. So when he's trying to tell us that his arm hurts or he likes his arm, it's very like playing charades, and you can tell, like, you learn to see those things, so you can see, like, oh, he's sad about his arm and things like that. So even though he may not verbally say, oh no, I want that, you can tell he desperately missed it, but he got over it over a day or two. Ryan, you should do a video where you can travel from a map location to another to a different location via a teleporter that's replicated. If you do just movement stuff, set like movement position, it would replicate it. It's simple enough to replicate. Alistair Bell, if you had an ability for your character that put them underground for a moment, how would you do it? Turn off collision momentarily. I wouldn't even do that. I'll just make the animation go underground, but not be root motion. So the animation goes underground, and they stay underground, and they pop back up. So the capsule actually stays there above ground. It's just that the character model is underground. All I would do. Hey, I just learned that New World is client authority. Do you think they can save the game without rebuilding it from the ground up? It can't be. Client authority. That seems like a big misstep. I'm not too sure. I can't say for certain without knowing how they made their game. It's all different. Soapman. Oh no, sorry. Jackaled. How to do DMC style air fiction, like you jump in the air, and when you're doing attacks, you don't get pulled to the ground. Turn off gravity. Turn off air movement. Turn off all movement in the air. That'll do just fine. Charles, how are you? I'm okay, thank you. I'm a very busy man this month. I've fallen behind a few things I need to catch up on. Mostly video stuff. I've got a load of stuff recorded. I just need to do the talking head bit. Yeah, it's been a stressful month this month. But more importantly, is everyone enjoying the 4th anniversary special stuff? I'm releasing like tons of videos every day. I think I've released 9 so far this week. Got another 6 to come. So 3 tomorrow and 3 on Friday. There's a few more to come out on Patreon as well, which, by the way, is 15% off until Sunday. So for annual subscribers, so if you want to get the annual subscription, which works for all tiers, not just top ones, you can do $1 tier annual. That's 15% off. So yeah, that's available. And also, don't forget, if you want to win Guardians of the Galaxy on PC, just go to the video where I announce it and just leave a comment about what you'd like to see in a future channel video. We have done 4 years of this so far, and there are no signs of it slowing down, only getting faster, more intense, more fun, more options for you to learn, new exciting opportunities, and so forth. There'll be new stuff to come, especially in the new year. I'm working on right now. It'd be interesting to see what you all think of that, and if it's successful or not. We'll see. We don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. Yeah. So yeah, we are 4 years in, but by no means are we anywhere near done. There's no end in sight for this. We're going to keep on going, keep on pushing, and I want to grow this channel further and farther, and turn it more and more into like a platform for learning games development, because that's what I'm passionate about, and I just want to give you guys. So Look forward to all the cool stuff. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to end it there for today. Thank you very much for everyone's questions, and thank you for coming by on this question time. Again, apologies for not doing one last week. We hopefully are back to normal now. We'll see. But look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday, where we do the last part of Asset Flip. So if you're going to see Asset Flip, we are doing taking this month's free assets and making a game prototype out of them, using only those assets. So if you want to see me doing it live, come by on Saturday for the third part of the 3-part series. Part 1 and 2 have been made available, well, will be made available to everyone momentarily, so you can catch up on. And gold patrons on high will also get access to the project files, which I may shorten down because they're quite large files because of the landscape stuff in it. So you can muck about with it, continue on, do whatever you like with it. But lots of cool stuff coming with that one. But yeah, excellent. Anyway, I'm off. It's getting quite late. I've got to do some recordings and some work, some development stuff, and before I go to bed. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me, and thank you again for supporting me over the past 4 years. And I promise to do a lot more stuff and a lot more exciting stuff as well going forward. I can't wait for you guys to see. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Good night.